Hi, welcome to another edition of Lajes Connect, where we connect you with the Lajes community. In the studio today, we have an expert in his field. September is National Preparedness Month, and from the 65th Civil Engineer Squadron, we have Technical Sergeant Eric Reist. Sergeant Reist, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. As the Installation Emergency Manager, I appreciate you all taking the opportunity to help us connect with the Lajes community and kind of get our message out.
So, emergency management. Tell us, obviously I understand the two words, but tell me a little bit more the details in it. What happens? What are you responsible for?
So, as you're aware, in the Lajes Control Center, basically the installation's kind of command and control node where we get together and look at how emergencies could impact the installation when an incident occurs. So it's kind of the behind the scenes part, but we have these kind of four core services. So we help prepare, plan, and then obviously when something happens, respond to it and make sure that we're able to recover not just the installation's mission, but also the community that surrounds it, whether it's housing or any support that we can provide to any of our counterparts if asked. And so kind of simply, 8 simple words, we say prepare for, respond to, and recover from all hazards. Most people don't see the kind of planning side of it, all the behind the scenes stuff, but National Preparedness Month is an opportunity for us to kind of get out from behind the desk, from behind the office, and engage with the community about the threats that they face on a daily basis.
And so this organization, this committee of individuals is a group of expert SMEs in each of the fields that are required to respond to some type of an emergency. It can be natural disaster, earthquakes. We currently have hurricanes right now in the Atlantic, and so there is always something that your office is doing and preparing for.
Absolutely. So even things that might not be impactful, so obviously tracking hurricanes in the Atlantic that may or may not impact us, and then getting preparedness information ahead of time and engaging that. And you bring up a good point about the SMEs in the room, because we're there to kind of look at the mission overall and the big things, but we're not there with you in your home to help provide you that preparedness information at that level, which is where public affairs comes in and helping disseminate that information out, whether we use Facebook or AFN or things like Lajes Connect to talk about that preparedness information down to the lowest level airmen, because the experts in the room, they got it, they know what they're doing, etc. But it's really about getting that message out so everybody knows how to keep themselves safe, because they may not be here. They might be, in their home in Praia or Angra, out and about when something happens. And do they know what to do as the room assembles and we try to get these messages out, get people recalled, accountability, etc.
So is there a place that I can go to get information if I don't have it? I mean, I can obviously Google emergency management resources, but do you know of anything that's an official Air Force site that would help me kind of list out the items that I need, or easy access? I mean, I know my cell phone has all kinds of applications on it. Is there something of that nature that would help?
Absolutely. So that's a really good question. So we have a lot of resources out there. Obviously, most of them National Preparedness Month, kind of a U.S. thing. Obviously, September is deliberate because of 9/11. Started in 2004, so we're now in our 14th year of doing National Preparedness Month. And so we kind of have 4 themes that we try to get out this year. So week 1 was all about kind of basic preparedness information. Week 2, life-saving skills. Week 3 is going to be about basically insurance coverage and making sure that you're protected. And then week 4, I'm about saving for emergencies. So a lot of resources out there to help people accomplish those that we're getting the message out. And one of the best is the Air Force Be Ready app, which can be downloaded on the iPhone or Android systems, or basically ready.gov, which is a great website for people to go to. And even though, again, these are kind of resources built by the United States or FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, they are kind of designed for everyday people. So if you just want to know about floods, you can go to basically ready.gov and hit floods, and it'll tell you about it. Again, the Air Force Be Ready app is a great resource to download, and then the Air Force Be Ready website also has some stuff on there. And there's a lot of great stuff out there. Here, obviously, not a lot of military members have their families, but there's a lot of resources out there for like Ready Kids, to talk with your kids about what to do during an emergency. Because again, as a parent, you might not always be there with your child, whether they're at school or walking on their way home, and basically has some fun activities for them to do. So those are kind of the 3 resources that we really, again, like to kind of get people prepared. Basically, the Air Force Be Ready website, the ready.gov one, and then the Be Ready app that you can download. The cool thing about the app specifically is you can tailor it, basically a preparedness kit for your family. You can put emergency information in there, contact information for your families, and really tailor the app to your needs. And the other thing about that is all the information on that app is stored on your phone, so you don't have to worry about privacy concerns or it being basically jeopardized, hacked, or any of those things, because again, it is maintained on the phone and not on a central server.
And so once you've downloaded it, then you don't need internet so to access some of the information. Otherwise, that would be a little bit useless, because in an emergency, likelihood is you probably don't have connection to Wi-Fi or to the internet. But that's a great point you had talked about with families. I was thinking personally, I need to prepare for one home, one house. My family is near me, but for our active duty members who are separated from their families, they got to be prepared kind of for 2 homes or maybe even 3 homes if they have their parents somewhere else, and making sure that all of those locations they're prepared. And you want to do that before the emergency, right? September is just a month to kind of spotlight this information, but you do not want to try and prepare for it during an emergency. You want to make sure you have everything in place so that you are ready to deal with the challenges that will occur if, and hopefully it won't, but we want to make sure that we're prepared for these type of emergencies.
Absolutely. You know, I have a home in Missouri. I also own my condo in DC, so as the Hurricane Florence goes up the East Coast, things to make sure my insurance coverage is okay, my renter's okay. So you got to really apply emergencies to your family and to your individual circumstances, and making sure that you take care of them. And one of the really interesting things to me is the FEMA app, which doesn't do much for here because obviously it's ran by the US government, but you can download the FEMA app and get alerts for what's going on in your home zip code as well. So it's kind of a way to be connected back home even though you're not there, and kind of follow what's going on. I know I've used that when tornadoes have hit to call home and be like, are you okay, etc. So it's definitely a way to make sure that all of your communities, whether it's here or back in the States, are definitely taken care of.
Locally, I know that the Civil Protection Office actually offers an app also for the Portuguese Republic and the regional government of the Azores. They offer this app that also gives you alerts, orange alerts or red alerts, depending on what the weather is like in the Azores and which set of islands that you're on. And so that may be helpful to our listeners and to our viewers to understand that there is one available locally, and I'm sure that we'll be able to get more of that information out to folks. So it's not always sunny here at Lajes Field. Every once in a while we get sideways rain and we get some hurricane warnings. So it's great been having you in the studio. Do you have anything else you want to share with the community?
No, I really am excited to be an emergency manager here. I've learned a lot. We've taken an active, engaged approach, and I think it's working. We just want people to be ready and prepared. And again, we thank you for taking the opportunity to speak with us and kind of get this message out.
Well, thank you very much, Sergeant Reese. And hopefully we don't have to put into practice any of your expertise. That'd be great. So that's another edition of Lajes Connect. I'm Rick Baptista, the 65th Public Affairs Officer, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.